Good gracious day, has silver absolutely fallen off a cliff in the last 2 months. Going from over $34 an ounce down to right now it's sitting at the low $29 an ounce range. That is an over 15%, nearly 20% drop from the high that it was experiencing in late October. And 2025 is here. Let's see what silver stacking holds for us now. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Silver Augustine, and after a few holiday weeks, I am back with another video in 2025. You can enjoy watching a couple seconds of me messing with my lighting to try to figure out the perfect lighting for my thumbnail while I talk about what the point of today's video is. So, it is now 2025. Silver price is lower than it's been in several months, so it's a good time to buy if you're someone that's been stacking, but it's also a potential time for people that have never heard about stacking or never known of stacking that may have noticed that the silver price was high. Maybe they wanted to jump in and they bought high and now they're holding low, or maybe they're coming in a little bit late after seeing what the price did before it fell after the election, and maybe they're considering getting into it. Maybe if that's you watching this video, I have a couple of personal tips. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but this is my personal opinion. And if you're planning on buying silver in 2025 as a new stacker or even as a seasoned stacker with the volatility of the market and everything, I think these tips will be very beneficial. So if you enjoy, please leave a like. It'll really help. If you enjoy the videos, go check out my other videos, watch those, subscribe to the channel, help me get to 1,000 subs. I'm trying to get monetized so that I can buy better equipment, have better editing software, maybe buy some more silver upon request in the comments, make videos that are more tailored to what you guys would like to see. Now, enough of the rambling. Let's get into the topic of today's video. First off, if you have never bought before, or maybe the price of silver is fluctuating a lot, but you still want to get involved, or maybe if you just don't have a whole lot of money to put up to start with, I would say junk silver is probably the way to go. This here is a pre-65 dime. These are going for about $2.20, $2.30. If you go somewhere that's priced a little high, you might be paying $2.50 for one of these, but it's a very cheap, low-risk way to get in the door when it comes to purchasing silver. These are great because they're not hard to find. You can buy as many or as few of them as you'd like to, even if you're on a very stringent budget. Right here we've got the pre-65 quarter. Now this right here is going for about $5.70, $5.80, right around or a little bit under $6 per quarter right now. Face value obviously is only 25 cents, but the dime you can look at as the $2 bill of silver, and the quarter you can look at as the $5 or $6 bill of silver. And again, another affordable way to get in. You can buy a lot of them, pretty easy to store. These are the 50-cent half dollars. That's the face value, of course. They're going for a little under $12 right now because of the amount of silver in those. If you want more info on junk silver, I did a whole separate video, actually two on that, video number 10 and video number 12. I would recommend you check those out. I'll link those up top. But anyways, these are going for quite a bit more than the dimes and the quarters, but still something that you can buy that will hold its value very well. Pretty easy to find. Should be pretty easy to offload, whether you're selling to a private individual, because it is actual currency and it's pretty verifiable. A little bit harder to counterfeit. Definitely illegal to counterfeit, so should be a safe buy. Test it if you're not sure, but selling it back to a dealer or a coin shop or a local person, these are easy to offload. They're pretty easy to buy as well. Something you can buy without too much risk. If you can find Morgan dollars or Peace dollars for a good deal, then go ahead and buy those. But if you're just getting into silver, I really wouldn't highly recommend these right off the bat. You're not paying a whole lot for the silver price. You're paying a lot more for the age of these, the nostalgia, the collectability. They're not really numismatic necessarily, but you are definitely paying a premium for them that you would not be paying if you just bought a regular dime or a quarter or a half dollar that was minted before the year 1965. So if you find a good deal on them, they're definitely a good buy. Again, not super duper hard to offload, and it's a good way to get into silver if you can get them at a good price. Sometimes you can, but unless there's a deal on them, I wouldn't recommend getting into this right away just because it is a little bit more of a complex silver buy. Not really risky, but a little bit more expensive. Those are going for around the mid $30s range right now. If you're wanting to get into something though a little bit more substantial than just the junk silver, I would recommend starting with 1 ounce size generic stuff. This right here is a silver buffalo 1 ounce round and a Silvertown 1 ounce minor bar. And these are very common, should be very easy to find. Everybody recognizes them, and it'll be something that you can get your foot in the door and know, hey, I actually have silver. This is bullion. You know, it's not like an actual coin or anything sovereign, but it is exactly what you're looking for if you're just trying to get into silver on the ground level, but maybe you've got a little bit more money to spend than just going for dimes or quarters. I think it's a good idea to diversify and get multiple different kinds, but you can't go wrong buying these. No matter what anybody says, if you're getting silver right now for under $30 an ounce, seeing what it has done the last few months, you'd be doing well to get these at $29 an ounce. So I would suggest if you're new, get your foot in the door with some generic stuff if you've got a little bit more money to spend than just buying the junk stuff. If you're a little bit more bougie and you want to buy the sovereign stuff, if you want to buy the more premium silver coins, the American Silver Eagle is the way to go. There are a lot of different other nationalities. You got Canadian, you got Australian, you got Krugerrands from South Africa, a couple different other options, but this is pretty basic. If you're in the US, this is a good buy. This is very easy to offload. These are always in high demand. Sometimes the premiums are a little high, so if the premiums are high on them, I wouldn't suggest buying them unless you've got more money than you know what to do with. Then you're balling more than I am. So if you're looking to get into silver on a bigger scale, if you're actually planning on stacking and putting away large amounts, I would suggest going for the larger bars. This is a 10-ounce silver bar and a 5-ounce silver bar. These are both generic. I've got some nicer ones, but if you're new to stacking or if you're starting to stack in 2025 and you've got the price of silver as low as you've got it now, these are going to be really good buys and a lot more affordable than they were a couple months ago. So I would highly recommend going with something like this if you're wanting to put in a little bit more money but not wanting to necessarily have a bunch of loose coins or loose rounds that you got to keep in a bag or keep in a tube. These right here stack very well and nice and compact, feels very weighty in your hand, and it feels like you've got something valuable. It's very satisfying to have some bars. I wouldn't suggest going much higher than this, honestly. Getting 10-ounce and 5-ounce bars and being able to offload them is pretty easy. Once you get into kilos, and especially like 100-ounce bars, it's a little bit harder for you to offload those a lot of times. Plus, it's a bigger investment going in from the very get-go. Here we've got a more premium stacker 10-ounce silver bar from Scottsdale. These are more premium. I bought a couple of these when they were on sale. I got a good deal on them. I wouldn't recommend buying these. This is a 5-ounce round. A lot of time these are more numismatic, a little bit more collectible. It's fun if the price is good, if it's on sale, if it's something you're really interested in. But as far as stacking in 2025, these are not really what you want to be stacking unless, like I said, you're just doing financially better than a lot of us. So these are options that you could be buying. You'll see these. They're flashy. They're pretty. But in all reality, if you take them into your local coin shop, they probably won't give you any more per ounce for silver for this more premium stuff than they would for the generic stuff. So I would recommend getting into generic. Start on the low end before you work your way all the way up to the bigger stuff. And in the order that I showed things in this video, that's kind of the way I would go if you're starting out. If you've been doing this a while, you make your own decisions, but this is just my opinion. This is what I think you should be doing. If you don't know any better, go ahead and start with the smaller, cheaper stuff so you're not losing out a lot if you get in and you decide, hey, silver's not for me, I'm going to jump out of this. Well, you're not in over your head if you just bought a handful of dimes and a handful of quarters. But if you go in and you start buying premium stacker bars and premium 5-ounce, 10-ounce rounds and coins, and then you go to turn them back in because you decide that stacking is not for you, you're going to lose your hiney on those a lot of times. So I wouldn't recommend taking any extra chances. And always, always, always make sure that you have some fiat currency saved as an emergency fund so you don't have to go liquidate your silver at a bad time in the market. If you stuck around, thank you so much. I really do appreciate the watch time. Please interact with the video by commenting below what your thoughts were on the video. If you have any video suggestions for me to do, anything to improve, any topics to cover, whatever the case is, let me know in the comments. I will be watching. I will be responding. You have a good rest of your day, and thank you again for stopping by.